Philadelphia is the 6th largest city in the entire country with a population of just under 1.6 million people. Philadelphia is known for its food scene, its rich history, and its die-hard fans. Philadelphia is only 1.5 hours from New York City, and as a new resident to Philadelphia, everything might seem perfect. And Philadelphia is overall a great city, but there are some things that people hate about living in Philadelphia. Hey there, I'm Corey Benhart. I'm a local realtor here in the Philadelphia metro area, and I specialize in helping people move to the great state of Pennsylvania, and more specifically, the city and the suburbs of Philadelphia. All of my contact information is below. I would love to help you find your perfect home, and let's get started. In no specific order, the first thing that we have to talk about that people hate about living in Philadelphia is the increase to taxes. If you were to buy a house outside of Philadelphia, there would be a total transfer tax of 2%, which normally the buyer pays 1% and the seller pays 1%. But in Philadelphia, it's just a bit different. If you bought a home in Philadelphia County, you would pay 2.14% of the sales price because the total transfer tax is 4.28%. So for example, if you bought a home for $500,000 outside of Philadelphia, you would pay a transfer tax of just $5,000 and the seller would pay a transfer tax of $5,000. But if you bought that same priced home in Philadelphia, that would mean a transfer tax of $10,700 for both the seller and the buyer to pay. In addition to the higher transfer tax, Philadelphia residents also have to pay a higher income tax known as a wage tax. Just about everywhere else in Pennsylvania is charged a flat rate income tax. So no matter how much you make, everyone is charged the flat rate 3.07% income tax. But in Philadelphia, again, it is a bit different. If you work and live in the city of Philadelphia, you would pay a wage tax of 3.79%. But if you work in the city but live outside of Philadelphia County, your wage tax would drop just a little bit lower, down to 3.44%. But still, even comparing that same 3.44% income tax rate to somebody who lives and works outside of Philadelphia County, they're only being charged 3.07%. So in the long haul, that little bit of a difference really can add up. Another reason residents hate living in the city of Philadelphia is because of both traffic and parking. Just like in every other large city, you can imagine how difficult traffic and parking can be. But specifically in Philadelphia, parking is so bad that they actually created an A&E show just to highlight the parking life in Philadelphia. It's pretty crazy. You could probably imagine how difficult it is to find a parking spot close by to where you need to be. Philadelphia has plenty of parking garages, but if you both live and work in the city, having to pay for those parking garages every single day can certainly add up. I would highly recommend to take advantage of all of the public transit that Philadelphia has to offer. If you're planning on moving to Philadelphia and you have multiple cars, I would also highly suggest to reduce that down to just one, because it's very difficult to find a house that has parking or a driveway, let alone a house that has 2 or more garages. Tagging along with the parking is the traffic. It's estimated that right around 250,000 people every single day commute into Philadelphia to work. So it's such a high number, you can imagine how difficult traffic can be sometimes. Most of my clients that bought a home in the city just ended up selling their car or relying on Ubers and the subway to get around. Philadelphia is also a very walkable city with a total area of just over 141 square miles, which may seem huge, but comparing that to New York City, which is 303 square miles, Philadelphia is still relatively small. Another reason why people hate living in the city is unfortunately because of the school district. According to niche.com, the Philadelphia school district rated as a C overall and has a teacher to student ratio of 17:1. The good news is that there are some good schools within the Philadelphia school district, and also if public school isn't something that you're looking for, Philadelphia has plenty of highly rated private schools as well. The next thing that we're going to talk about might actually be a great thing in your opinion, but for others it is definitely a con. The number of new construction homes and buildings that are constantly being built could be a big reason why some people hate living in Philly. Depending on which part of the city someone may live in, there are definitely more construction zones and more construction buildings and new homes. Philly is booming with new construction and with no sign of stopping. The city has approved plans for over 10,000 more rental units to be built in the city, and also 26% more single-family homes and row homes, townhomes, etc. to also be built in the next 3 years compared to the prior 3 years. We're seeing a lot of old, small row homes being turned into beautiful new construction homes with 3 floors and a roof deck to enjoy those beautiful city views. Some developers are even known to buy entire city blocks and turn them into luxury apartment buildings. So if you're planning on moving to Philadelphia, there's a high likelihood that you could move into a brand new construction home or a home that has been completely renovated. The next reason why people hate living in the city of Philadelphia is just the overall cost of living. According to bestplaces.net, if the entire country has an overall cost of living score of 100, Philadelphia's comes in at 105. Philly's grocery store ratings are at 102.5. The housing cost is below the state and national average with a score of only 75.9. The utility score is much higher at 107.7. Generally speaking, utilities and homeowners insurance are almost always more expensive in the city than outside of the city. The overall transportation cost is 141.9, and that truly surprises me because you would think with all of the public transit that Philadelphia has, that would reduce the cost of transportation. But I guess if they're not including public transportation and they're just taking into account how much it costs to run and operate a car on a daily basis, I could definitely see where they get that high cost of living rating for. The miscellaneous category came in at a 109.5 rating as well. Unfortunately, almost every category is above the state and national average. So overall, Philadelphia does have a bit of a higher cost of living. So those are some things that people hate about living in the city of Philadelphia. If you're still thinking about moving to Philly or anywhere within the Philadelphia metro area, I would love to help you find your perfect Pennsylvania home. All of my contact information is down below. And until then, I will see you over on this next video.